The N Step Reframe we can use for any kind of limiting belief. And remember, all beliefs are limiting. And that limitation may have helped us get to here, but that limitation may stop us from getting there. Yeah. So all beliefs are limiting, but with this particular process, we can work on any belief that's holding us back. Yeah, a belief or a behavior. Smoking, being aggressive, handling an emotion. Yeah, there's a wide range.
Hi there, welcome to the replay of our after hours discussions with professional coaches. Your exclusive complimentary Sunday session for all of our community around the world, where coaching minds unite with our people to create real world results. I am Adrian Cahill, your host and founder of the Motivate community, and more recently, Monday Morning Motivation. As a global trainer in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, coaching, and hypnosis, this weekly gathering brings some of my colleagues from trainings, my fellow students and coaches all together in one place where we can discuss, share, help change the world by delivering free, quality information that's here to help you transform.
It's of my impression that we could all benefit from a lot more patience. Obviously, sometimes we've got to take action, but so often we just need a bit more patience. And, you know, there are times when we've sent a message to someone and they've misread it or we miswrote it. But so much of the time we just need a bit more patience, a bit more heart. Yeah. Hey, so in this session, we're going to go through the N Step Reframe. Celia's dropped out. Oh. I think we may have one or two more join us in the next 2 minutes. That's normally the way it goes. I was having a conversation recently about coaching, and they were having a call with me about doing ICF coaching course or doing NLP. And for me, it was a simple no-brainer. Do you want a skill set where you can have a conversation with someone, or do you want a skill set so you can have a conversation with anyone in the world, including yourself, and get better results? I like option B. I do like ICF, and it's great if you're going to become an ICF coach. However, coaching, sponsoring, guiding, therapy is something that people normally do in a later part of life. So we can definitely do it earlier. But the reason it happens later in life is that there's a lot to it. There is a lot to it. There's no coaching course, NLP course that we can do in 7 days and suddenly be able to, be like Jesus and make blind people get their eyesight back. Although we can do some miracles, it often takes a bit more. So the ICF coaching is often in a context of a coaching conversation, where NLP we can apply it to all different aspects of life. So if you go on a 4 or 5, 7, 10, 20-day NLP course, you might be with someone that has specifically got outstanding results with money or business, or maybe someone that's got it with their fitness, and maybe someone else has it with their love life, or maybe someone else with their children. Hence, you will see there are books on NLP parenting, NLP relationships, NLP for all kinds of things. We can apply the NLP stuff to anything. And one of the places we get the most results is when we apply it to ourselves. I hear so many workshops about toxic relationships and toxic partners, but it's like, oh my God, do you still think there's toxic partners out there? So NLP, we'll be looking at ourselves, we'll be looking at the mirror going, oh, that's interesting, there seems to be a mirror there. So rather than just having a coaching conversation with someone, NLP, we use it for that, and we use it for therapy, we use it for our self-talk, we use it for being more efficient, we use it for absolutely everything in life, I think. Yeah, clear that up. In today's session, we're going to be applying it to ourselves, and we can, and I'll take you through a little bit on how I do it with a client, However, we're going to do it on ourselves, and we experience the benefits. And if you take this process away and practice it, and anyone can learn this in the process, take it away and practice it. Depending on the level of perhaps skill or times you practice and your curiosity with it, you could use this one process for coaching a million different things. A million different things. Or I guess we should say 10,000 things. Yeah. So this is my favorite thing. Now, before we get started, Sophia or Harry, anyone, iPhone or Darko, would you like to ask anything before we get into N Step?
No, not from me.
I'm excited to go through the process, so to experience a little bit change.
Yeah. Adrian, could you briefly explain how we talk to the unconscious? How we ask the unconscious this loop and how we get the feedback, to be a little bit more subtle on this one? That would be great. Thank you.
Totally. And to help with that, be aware that in this session, I'm only going to use my camera and I'm going to zoom in a couple of times. And what Harold just asked is going to be a large part of the start. So I've got the camera set up a little bit, so definitely going to hit that, Harry. Anybody else like to ask? And is it okay if we have a bit of extra fun tonight? I don't want to take things too serious. It's been a huge weekend.
Yes, I think it will be good to explain N Step as a process shortly, 5 to 10 minutes for the for the new audience, for the people who are not much familiar with that.
Kind of just wish we had some more people around so they could all benefit from the loveliness, because I don't see anyone else offering to teach this 100% for free to the general public.
Yeah, for sure.
Teaching one of the absolute best things in NLP, and so many people would be like, oh, sorry, there's a good episode of Netflix on tonight. No, who knows? But people do have obligations. And I don't really give a damn anymore if people do or don't turn up. But no, I do care. Well, I really care when you guys come. Okay, so at this angle in the Zoom screen, you can see me, you can see my feet. Yeah?
Yep.
But this is how we want to actually work with the client. We want to be able to see the whole client. If I'm talking and, legs change, you can see it all. And I might be telling you what I want, but you might see me collapse a little bit. Yeah? And you might even see my chest go up and down. A lot of the times we end up working like this close. And if we're working this close on the Zoom screen, you may be able to see more of the facial muscles. But what you can't see is you got no idea if my legs are crossed, if my arms are crossed, if my arms are open. Yeah. So ideally, we want to be able to, I even got a microphone on today just to make it easier. And I've got my feet up here so you can see. The N Step Reframe we can use for any kind of limiting belief. And remember, all beliefs are limiting. And that limitation may have helped us get to here, but that limitation may stop us from getting there. Yeah. So all beliefs are limiting, but with this particular process, we can work on any belief that's holding us back. Yeah, a belief or a behavior. Smoking, being aggressive, handling an emotion. Yeah, there's a wide range. But before we even get to that, we set up. We walk through a series of steps. We get a bunch of possible results, we activate these results, and we ask and work with our unconscious on installing these results so we don't actually do anything. And then we get to the end, and the new belief, the new behavior is installed, and I can walk away with no more to pay. Sounds like a sales line. So we start step one with the unconscious signals, and we're going to go into depth on that, unconscious signals. Two, we're going to identify a behavior or a belief. I've got a little circle thingy here, and I've got this behavior, and it keeps going around and around. So I've got that here. And we might put it on the ground, but for the camera, I'm going to put it right here. I've put the desk, normally it'll be on the ground. So step one is going to be unconscious signals. Step two is going to be the behavior. Step three is going to be the intention. I've got like a beautiful singing bowl here. That's going to be for the intention. Then I'm going to make some magic. 4, 5, I'm going to ask my unconscious to install. Then 6, future pace, ecology. So it was called the 6-step reframe, but it started being called the N step because sometimes in here we have to loop around and maybe repeat a step so it ends up being 7 or 8 or 9. Something I find hilarious, AB NLP. 90% of NLP in the country is under like AB NLP, American board, or it's a McDonald's style NLP. And I saw this trainer's menu, one of the biggest trainers in Australia. She's got the 6-step reframe. And I'm looking at the manual, and there's like 13 steps. I'm like, it's a 6-step reframe, and you called it, and you got 13 steps. Anyway, we call it the N step. So we're going to have 6 steps, but it could end up being 7 or 8, depending what happens. Depending what happens when we make the magic, we might end up with a 7, an 8, a 9, a 10, and on the way out, we're still doing the installing and the last one, future pace. And now we'll go through the 6 steps slowly so you can actually do it. Something small here, something small but important. Do you know what the problem is? Or what negative belief you want to change? Sometimes you will have the problem. Sometimes you will have it at the start and it'll be clearly and cleanly expressed, like, I keep trying to go to bed early, but I end up staying late on Netflix or scrolling. Yeah. Or it could be, I don't love myself. There. Okay. There's a small problem here for the coaches here, Harold and Jay. One small problem is if when we go to the problem state, or if we start with the problem state, I might actually get into a shit state. And if I get into a shit state, what kind of communication am I going to get from my unconscious? So if I think about the problem and I start getting stressed, that stress is going to get in the way. And that's how most coaching goes. Hey, Jay, you got a problem? Yeah, I got a problem. I got a problem. Here's a challenge, a problem. And I'm like, oh, crap, that's a problem. Oh, and then we're both in the problem. Oh, I've got a big problem. I've got a big house. Oh, big problem. And now let's go find a solution. Yeah, let's go find a solution to this problem. And now we've actually got a problem state. And we're not going to get a solution from a problem state. So it's tricky. We want to get the problem, but we don't want to get the state. Because so often with people, if they're stuck making a decision or something, it's the state. And if they're in the problem state, it's a bit hard to really think creatively, right? So I had a really good friend. They had two different pathways, and it was a damned if you do, damned if you don't. It wasn't. It was the state of mind was damned if I do, damned if I don't. So that state went through all the decisions and the pathways. Yeah. So we might know the problem, but we really need to start back away from the problem. The step one, unconscious signals, has to come before step two, problem, because we want to be able to make sure we get the unconscious signals. And right now, I can't get my unconscious signals because my heart rate's a bit high because I was just moving backwards and forwards. Okay, so I would like for everyone to take about 10 deep breaths and perhaps count your breaths or time them. But we want like equal in, equal out. Maybe 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. Don't need to do any box breathing. Just the in-breath and the out-breath pretty equal. Find your body relaxing. And perhaps you could relax the muscles on your forehead. Relax your face. Relax your jaw. And I wonder if your left side or right side is more relaxed. Or what side will relax more next. And I wonder if your left buttocks or your right buttocks is more comfortable. Now, when we slow down, we start to tap into the body's intelligence rather than the limited conscious mind. Limited conscious mind, maybe 5 to 9 little bits of information it can track. A little bit of conscious mind, but when we slow down, we start to feel the unconscious mind. And I'd like to ask you a couple of questions. Find yourself yawning, that's totally okay. So the yawning, the slowing down, calming the mind, allowing us to get better communication and get more to the heart of things. Now, I'd like to ask you, or ask your unconscious, if it can give us a yes signal. You know, sometimes your body has given you a yes signal, like, yes, you can. Perhaps you've walked away from somewhere and you've gone, yes, I can, or yes, that's right. And now I might ask my unconscious to give me a louder signal. So now I can actually feel my right finger pulling. My right pointy finger is pulling just a little bit. Perhaps you can feel a finger pulling. But see, with the video on, Darko, can you actually see my finger that moves? Not really?
Your finger, but I cannot notice that they are moving. I need to change the view.
Now, sometimes what happens is a person's finger will move, and this is one of the ideal, I think it's ideomotor signals, yeah? The yes coming through on my finger is my body is giving me a yes signal. And I'm not consciously doing it. I'm actually just feeling the finger pull a little bit. Sometimes what happens is a person might not feel anything, but someone else will see. So now if I look to Jay, Darko, or Harold, if you guys just relax and your body gives you a yes signal, if your body gives you a strong yes signal, I may see it on your face. When you can see the person's whole body, sometimes you might see some kind of movement, and it might be a leg moving, whatever. So unconscious, please give us a yes signal. Unconscious, please give me a yes signal. Sometimes people will say, do you remember what a yes signal is like? Okay. So I've gotten a strong yes signal on my finger here. Second thing that asks the unconscious with the yes signal is can I fake it? Can I fake it? Well, I can fake it, but if I fake it, can I tell the difference? Yes, 100%. Sometimes we can go, oh yeah, I've got a yes signal, it's right here. Can you fake it? Oh, actually, I can. But what we might find is that there is a deeper signal that's there, and the unconscious gives us a deeper signal, and that's what we're looking for. It may take 5 or 10 minutes right here. When we're more relaxed, it can come quicker. Some people may also use a form of muscle testing. Remember the muscle testing where you can squeeze your thumb together and rub them, and the amount of friction or flicking it. If it's true, it's tighter. Yeah. If it's false, it's looser. My name is Julie. My name is Adrian. My name is Julie. In truth, the muscles are stronger with truth. If someone is pushing weight and they believe they can, muscles actually work harder. Yeah. With the yes signal, we might ask the unconscious to make it even bigger. So unconscious, please give us a yes signal, or unconscious, can you remember a time when you had a situation and your body was giving you a strong yes? Yes, you can. Whatever feeling it is, it's more important that the client or you can feel it. As a coach, it's wonderful for me to see it. As a coach, to see it, it's just a matter of practicing basic calibration. Harold, anything you'd like to check on there? And would you like to take us through the next bit, getting a no signal?
I'm just sensing what yes signal I get, so I'm not sure yet. So
I just found a stronger yes signal. I thought it was in the mind where I sort of hear or think, but actually it became the physical, and it's suddenly out of nowhere the right small finger. It just started twitching when you were doing it. So it's quite good, feels comfortable. No is like a left side body, a whole body feeling.
Oh, leave the no for a second, yeah. Right side, little pinky finger, and it just started to twitch a little bit. Yeah, fingers are awesome for it. Now, when you're doing this with a client, it's really good that we model it first. And we want to tell the client that it can come out on the fingers. And you may also consider that to be a hypnotic suggestion. And it works. And the way we do the yes signal is exactly the same as we do a no, and perhaps a third signal, not yet. So, Jay, you want to take us for a no signal? Hope you're on mute. And then maybe Darko could take us on a not yet, or not enough information.
Okay, so when we think of a no signal, I'm suggesting that we concentrate on something which we definitely have a negative feeling about. And a suggestion that I have is like eating something which I really don't like, something bitter or sour. And for me, even now, just saying the word gives me a feeling like up the leg to the left shoulder. So the left side of the body gives me a negative feeling. And if I think about eating something yuck that I don't like, that's where I can, it's very subtle for me, but it moves to give me the sensation. So think of something that you don't like and just relax. Let that happen within your body and feel, let it come out, let it work. Where is the sensation? Just sit with it. The thought happen again and check it with yourself. Put a little sound to it if you have to. The more stimulation, you'll get a more sounder response.
Okay, I hear you, Jay. I'm not getting a clean response, and I'm getting some interesting responses from my mouth. It's interesting using the food as an example. If we can, and you can try that. You can try that. And if you do try that for a food you like, perhaps a food you don't like, just for the process of repetition, for the process of repetition, using the exact same words as a yes signal, can you remember a time when your body gave you a strong no signal? Can you remember a time when your body was like, no, I don't want that, no, I don't like that, or perhaps, no, that's a mistake, no, don't do that. And I want your body to give us a no signal now. Slowing down, relaxing, allowing your body to give us a strong no signal. And notice whatever it feels like when you feel that no. And then comes a suggestion to make that signal stronger. We can ask it as a question, and we can also kind of frame it more like a direction and direct the unconscious. So unconscious, give me a no signal. Make it strong. Or we can ask it, unconscious, could you please give us a no signal? Except the unconscious could possibly go, yes, I can do that. So we're like, give us a strong no signal. Make it stronger, okay? Notice whatever you're feeling, and notice if there is, hopefully there's a clearer no signal. Jay mentioned the left side. Perhaps it is still the left side, and it's interesting. I'm experiencing on the left side of the stomach here. I'm not getting it on the fingertips. I could say, unconscious, could you move that no signal out to the fingers? Unconscious, please move our no signal out to our fingers. And my conscious is interfering a little bit. Unconscious, give me a no signal on my fingers, please. So every time I'm asking, I'm starting to get a curling of a particular finger for the no. Yeah. And staying cool and calm. If we consciously replicate that, or if we fake it, can we tell the difference? Yes, I can tell the difference between a real no and a fake no. So I've got a strong yes and a medium no. Now I want the signals out here. I want the signals out here so you guys can see them. But if I'm doing the work myself out on the grass, all I need to do is stand. And I can also stand and sway. Yeah? I can stand and close my eyes, relax, and unconscious. Can you give me a yes signal? Unconscious, can you give me a no signal? Now, it might take a bit longer with some people, but I'm noticing my no is left to right and my yes is forwards and back. Swaying, quite good. Using fingertips, quite good. The sitting and using the fingers, probably much better if using hypnosis, because you can put the person into a deep trance and have them in a deep trance and be processing traumatic memories or traumatic experiences and having the communication out in the fingers. I've done this with people that have gone through some pretty heavy trauma. Trance them out, have the communication on the fingertips. They were able to work through without re-experiencing the traumatic experience. It was wonderful. So we've got a yes, we've got a no. A third signal people often go for is not yet or not enough information. So we ask ourselves again the same kind of way. Unconscious, can you please give us a signal for not yet or not enough information? Might mean I've got to do more research, wait more time. Unconscious, can you make that not yet or not enough information signal stronger? May like to ask, can you bring it out on the fingers? Can you bring it out on my hands or on my fingers so people on camera can watch? Can I consciously recreate it? Maybe. Okay, I've got a bit of a not yet signal. So now, guys, rather than my conscious brain, and for some people might say, ego! The ego is not the enemy. You just got to learn and keep it fluid. Right? So now, rather than getting the ego answers, I can get the more unconscious or the greater mind answer, right? Some people may use left brain, right brain, or conscious, unconscious models. For us, we just use a really simple conscious and unconscious. Conscious is what we're conscious of. As we said before, we're aware of maybe 5 to 9 things. We may be able to track a few things, but we can't track 6 conversations at the same time. Yeah? But our unconscious can track so much more. The unconscious is far more of the supercomputer, but our conscious, we can actually set up frames. And this process is like 6 frames or 6 steps. Okay? So now our unconscious can guide us through the answers, and we can go through this process working with the unconscious greater mind rather than the ego. Now, if you want to get a great result, do you want to work more with the ego or the greater mind? Greater mind. Yeah? Okay, so step 1, we have our unconscious signals. Step 2, what is the problem or the behavior? Now, we're just going to pause right there. Cool to stay relaxed. Anyone want to have any questions regarding that first step, unconscious signals? As you see, I'm showing you how you can do it with a client and how you can also do it with yourself. Any questions about that first step? And Harold, has that cleared everything up?
Yeah, for example, could I also use a pendulum for this one?
Totally.
Okay.
Do you have one handy?
Not yet, but it just came to my mind. Yeah.
Mine are in the cupboard somewhere. I won't pull them out. Pendulum, sway test. Hand signals. Yep. If your client has used a pendulum, you can ask them, have you used a pendulum? Bring it down and use it. If your client has actually used a pendulum, this will be excellent. Okay. And Nadine, thanks for coming in. I know she's done NLP as well, so if you have any questions, do feel free. And hello, Frank. Okay, so step one is we've got these unconscious signals set up. Now, at my level where I'm at the moment, when I'm in the street, I don't suddenly stop and get the signals. I just pause, slow down, calm down, and I get pretty good feelings in my body, but a lot of us don't. So if we don't, we may need to spend more time here at the first step. But if we get it, cool, we move on to the second step, the problem. So we think about the problem or the belief. We want to have a spot in the ground or a market, and right here, I want to get into the problem. I don't want to be dissociated, seeing it from a distance. I want to get in to the problem for a moment. So think about whatever limiting belief or behavior you want to change. Let me know if you've got it. You do. No one needs to share it publicly, but do you have a problem or a behavior you want to change? Maybe it's going to bed earlier, stop eating something. Great. Well, we got that. The next question. So that's step two. Step two, nice and easy, hey? See, that first one was a big one. And remember, a month ago, we did a session on that. Or maybe 2 months ago, we did a session on that. So cool. Step two is easy. What's the problem? Get in, feel the problem. Now, the thing is, we've got to feel the problem. I have to X. I believe X. X means that, whatever the problem is. And then comes step three. What's the intention? All behavior has a positive intention, or at least a intention. So I do the problem. What I really want is this. Now, here's one for you. The problem is I go to bed too late at night because I'm on my phone. What's the intention? Well, the intention is another way of asking the question is, what's the purpose of staying up late? Yeah. What's the purpose of staying late, or what are you doing up so late? Oh, well, I'm actually there on my mobile phone scrolling. I'd rather go to sleep, but I'm scrolling. Okay. Well, what's the intention of scrolling? What's the intention of scrolling? Oh, I'm just doing it for fun. All right. What are you really doing it for? What does it do for you? Oh, it gives me a feeling of connection or love. Yeah. Or it gives me a bit of fun. Or it's something I do for me that I only do for me. All my day, I've been doing so much for other people. This scrolling is something I do for me. Now, something I do for me because I love myself, that's a pretty good intention. Maybe the way of doing it, scrolling, isn't so good. But the intention, come on, I'm scrolling on my phone because I want to give myself some love. I deserve. Yeah. Can anyone resonate with that? Maybe you should be going to bed, but you're outside at night having a cigarette, or you're having a drink even though you shouldn't, or you're having a piece of candy, a bit of sugar, and you're doing it for some reason, even though it's kind of a problem. It's got a really good intention. It's for love. Now, knowing it's for love, right there, that's a bit of awareness. A lot of people get a result just there. So that's step three, the intention. So step two and step three, we've got that. Any questions about step two or step three? Step two, the problem. Step three, intention. Oh, there's a question. What if the intention isn't good? Asks, what's the intention of that? The problem is I'm a drunk alcoholic. Well, what's the intention of drinking? Well, my intention of drinking is so I get messed up and get drunk and forget everything. Does that sound positive? It sounds pretty negative. I get really drunk because I want to get messed up. Okay, well, what do you want to get messed up for? Oh, well, I really want to get messed up because it's the only way I can go to sleep and find peace. Oh, so you want to get fucked up to find peace. Okay. So with that, we got someone who's drinking too much alcohol, and the intention is to get messed up, which isn't so good. So we ask again, what's the intention of being messed up? Well, it's so I actually find peace. Okay, great. Now, knowing I want to find peace, or knowing I'm looking for love, or looking for a way to self-soothe or to care about myself, that sets us up for step 4. Everyone on track? Okay, so we've got our signals, we've got our problem. We know there's a higher positive intention. If not, we're going to go to get a positive intention. Then comes our magic time. Abracadabra. Ding! So, abracadabra. Singing bowl's broken, sadly. Now for the magic round, I'll bring my hypnotic chair up. For the magic round, this is where we really have some beautiful magic. Now, knowing what the intention is, we want to ask our greater mind or our unconscious, and some people will be on the internet, they'll call it super conscious or magnetic conscious, whatever it is. All good. We want to ask, perhaps go into a small trance, or perhaps take a breath or two. Slow down again. Slow down the nervous system, slow down the breathing. Done a lot of good stuff. And as you feel yourself relaxing, jaw drop, relax down. And I'd like to ask your unconscious, for your unconscious to come up with somewhere between 8 and 18 new ways, new beliefs, or new behaviors that can satisfy the positive intention of that behavior without causing all the problems. I'll say that again. I'd like to ask your unconscious to search for 8 to 18 different ways that you can satisfy the positive intentions without having the problems of that behavior. Just relax and allow your unconscious to do the searching for you. While your unconscious is doing the searching for you, another way is, unconscious, please come up with 20 different behaviors, 20 different beliefs that will give a much more holistic and better result for that higher intention. Now, this is where we want to have as much calmness of the mind as we can. If you do some breath work, this is a sensational point to drop into breath work or drop into a deep trance. Now, we don't want to get too down into the deltas and the thetas, just the theta and the alpha level brainwave. We just want to get down enough to feel. Unconscious, please come up with 8 to 18 new ways to satisfy those positive intentions without those negative consequences. And unconscious, please give me a signal when you have the result. We'll sit here for a minute or two. So everyone, unconscious, please give me between 8 and 18 different ways I can meet the positive intention in a more holistic way. And if you could you put your hand up when you get alternative solutions coming up? So now our unconscious can sort for different possibilities, and your focus on what positive alternative behaviors can satisfy that higher intention. If you don't actually have one right now, you won't fully feel this. If you're doing this on a real problem now, you'll feel it and you'll come up with different ideas. You may have pictures, you may have visual stimuli, you may or may not know the answer. Your unconscious can often find the answer without letting you even know. Step 5. And you can stay in a trance if you like. Step 5 is simply asking our unconscious to choose, and you can flex on the wording, but choose the best alternative behaviors. Behavior or behaviors. Choose the best behavior and install it for me. Unconscious, can you install the new behavior for me now? Now it's funny, my right hand is giving me the, I'm getting a bit of a yes signal now. My hand, my unconscious is communicating through my fingers going, yes, you can. It'll do it now. But your unconscious may also give you a no right here. It may give you a no or a not yet. It may give you a bit of vagueness. And if it's a bit of vagueness, you might like to ask unconscious, will you take care of installing all the changes while I sleep? If it's a big change, like quitting smoking, and I use this process in quitting smoking, there might be substantial change required. Yeah, if it's departing a toxic, if it's about departing a relationship or some bigger thing or a bigger problem, it may take a little while for the unconscious to consolidate all the changes, so it might need to go overnight. Yeah. But it's wonderful if your unconscious can give you a yes, I will take care of the changes for you. Now, if it takes care of the changes for us, yeah, then we move to step 6 and a simple future pace ecology check. Yeah. So we don't need to get into a future pace and ecology check. We know that. Okay. So I'm just going to reverse back a little tiny bit. So step 4, we were asking our conscious to create 8 to 18 different alternative ways. Some people might use 20. I pulled out 8. Someone else told me 3. But when I had to do 3, I could consciously track 3 different ways. If I do 8 or 18, I can't track 18 different ways. So by having a big number, it means the unconscious has to do more of the processing. Yep. So we search through a pile of alternatives, and we may actually stay there for a minute or 2. Some people need 3. We may use more trance, relax, slow down. It's getting us totally out of the fight and flight response, totally down and in our body, finding a result, finding a solution, and then stepping into step 5. Unconscious, can you install that, or can you do it for me? Do you have everything? And now in this step 5, we might actually get a bit of a, no, I need to go overnight, or I need more information. You might get a bit more communication coming through here. Once all that is done and the unconscious is like, yeah, I'm installing this, but I'm not doing it today. I'm going to install this over the next week. Or I'm going to install this and you need to stop buying cigarettes. Or you need to don't take the phone into the room, whatever it is. So we might have a conscious understanding of what we're doing, or we might have an unconscious solution that we're not really aware of. If we're doing this in a deeper level of trance, there is a stronger chance because we're using trance in the lower brain waves. And if we go into a deep trance, probably better for traumatic experiences or having a really deep sleep. If we go into a deep trance, the higher day-to-day beta brainwaves, conscious, may have no idea. So I was like, unconscious, do you know what it is? Do you want to keep it secret from me? Yeah, and if it's like a cancer or something, your unconscious may keep a solution totally under the radar, and you might have no conscious awareness of it. Yep. So the deeper trance, we'll get a more unconscious result. Or if we do the processing with our day-to-day beta brainwaves, we'll have more of a conscious result. This is a lot better if we go down and take the time to go into a more trance there. And remember, once we've done a 1 or 2 trances, your clients will be able to go into trances quicker and quicker with you. Hence, Jay, the man, falls into a trance really quick and easy. He can really easy go down. He knows it, and he can also jump up. Dude, that was awesome. Did you get a result down there, Jay? Your timing was perfect. It was fine. You were processing while we were talking, and then I just asked you to come out, and you came out. That was freaking brilliant. See, so we've done the work. So Jay knows he can relax and go into trance. His unconscious is doing the processing, and when he's called out, he comes back out. If he goes down a bit too far, yeah, he'll fall asleep. And has it happened before? Well, I think it may have once, twice. Okay, so you can have this conversation with the unconscious, and the more you do it with yourself, the better communication and understanding you get for yourself. And you also start to learn that, hang on, I did that process a week ago and it didn't work. You can go, okay, great. What did I do wrong? Try it again formally. This is an absolute dream process to do over and over. And the more we do it, the more we know it, the more we actually start to do it in our dreams. And that's really, really, really cool, doing it in dreams. Okay, questions about step 4. Asking our unconscious to create many different ways.
I want to ask, during the process, the instruction was to find 8 to 19, something like that. But my unconscious come up with 3 or 4. So I think it's a good,
You're aware of
idea.
3 or 4.
Yes, I'm aware of 3 or 4. So unconsciously, maybe there are more. But maybe we can, when we're going to go deeper, just to make number 5, number 6, and unconscious will know what it is. So intentionally to just to add number instead of explicit solution.
Yeah. And if you were struggling there, if you were struggling to come up with solutions at that point, we might use another location, couch location. And in the couch location, we're really confident and we go get, and we might actually have a state here where we build up a lot of confidence. And then while we're in this state of a lot of confidence, okay, while you're feeling this, just relax, slow down. Drop down, that's right. Slow down everything. Breathe and slow down even more. And in a moment, I'm going to ask your unconscious to think of 8 to 18 different ways for you to relax more deeply and find 8 to 18 different solutions for the problems. And just allow your brain to do the search and relax and find as many solutions as it can to install, blah, blah, blah. You might actually do it in a separate state. And as I think I mentioned it, I did mention it during there, that step 4 is also a great time to go into breath work. Or now you could stretch this process out and do it over 6 hours, and you could put in ayahuasca right there, or magic mushrooms or psychedelics. Yeah, proper, and then have your shaman music or your setup. Do a really good job of it, take them down deep. With or without any psychedelics, you can just use trance music and breathing or hypnosis, taking them down. For some people, they'll go to the sauna and they're thinking about this, and then that they'll do step 4 in the sauna. Or they talk with me as a coach, and in our process, we're talking about, the problem, the higher intention, but the client doesn't have a solution. And then, 1 or 2 days later, pop, and I get the message. I did this. Wow, you wouldn't believe the dream I had.
It is like we are initiating our unconscious to find full solution.
1000%.
And like we are changing our outer state, outer consciousness. So going through mushrooms or if we go to sauna. So we are exposing our body and we are allowing our unconscious to express itself.
Now, I've done some psychedelics. Nothing's given me a better result than working with some of you guys. Working with some of you guys do far more than
Yes.
any of that.
Adrian, something that I've been doing which has allowed me to become aware of my dreams is taking lion's mane mushroom extract, which is manufactured in Australia here.
I've got it here, but what, just at night time?
Morning.
Okay. Just I've got some right here in my chocolate. I've got chocolate and lion's mane, turmeric. Yeah, it's wonderful. I swear by it too.
The product is a liquid that I'm using, made with lion's mane from West Australia, with a dual extraction process. Definitely effective.
So if you guys haven't heard it, lion's mane mushroom powder, totally legal. It just has a lot of neurogenesis and it helps with the brain-wise reconnect. Okay, any questions about step 5? So step 4 was the creating alternatives. Step 5 is unconscious. Can you install it for me? It can be really beneficial if you write a couple of the steps down. So then if you are walking it, you could look and see the note. So step 5, installation. Unconscious, please uninstall. All understood? All pretty clear? And ideally, our unconscious is giving us constant yes signals, like, can you install it? Yes. Can you do it tonight? Yes. But it might be like, can you install it? Yes. Can you install it tonight? No. Can you install it next week? No. Can you install it next month? No. Oh, shit. Do I need to do... Yes. What have I got to do first? Oh, no. I got to tell my sister I'm sorry. I don't want to do that. I don't know. I mean, the feelings are coming in kind of, okay. To unconscious, I tell my sister I'm sorry and it was me and I adopt her in. Then you'll take care of the changes. Yes. Okay, so I do that and then you're going to handle it. Yes. Okay, cool. You can have that little chat. And sometimes our clients will want to verbalize it. Yeah, you can do so much content free, but sometimes what a person needs to do here is say it out loud. And you're looking here, look, I've never said this before, but I need to get a divorce. Yeah. Or I've never said this before, but I want to leave my kids. I want to give life to myself. Okay. So step 5 is quite easy. And then step 6 is simply the ecology check or future pace. I would really jump in and do a really good future pace there. If you can do a future pace, you might not actually be able to do a future pace, but it is important that is if you go down the future, is the wife happy, the kids happy, the business partner happy, investors happy, is the bank still happy, is the government going to come after you, checking for different areas in life in case there's any problems anywhere, because it may be a great solution, but we may not have checked somewhere. Yep.
Adrian, one question. Coming back to step number 5, there we ask if unconscious want to change it, yes or no. Then you said, okay, there's a condition. First, you have to talk to your sister, whatever. Do you then only need to get the intention, or do you really have to do that? Or just you have the intention to feel sorry or to do that, or you really have to do it? Talk to your sister, for example.
really situation dependent. But in that little scenario, my kind of unconscious was that I got to apologize to my sister for what I did. And if I do that, the rest will play out. So I know I have to apologize to my sister for the rest to play out. And if I don't apologize to my sister, well, it probably won't play out. But I have enough clarification here to know from my unconscious that I need to apologize to my sister, and it'll take care of the rest of the changes. Yeah, it's good to say, okay, well, I know the intention and cheat, but I can't cheat my unconscious. And that's what a lot of people try to do. A lot of people try to cheat their unconscious.
Yeah.
Do a little time buying a Louis Vuitton bag. Yeah. Any other questions at all? A cool session. I really should have done a bit more marketing. Anyway. I find the more we do this process, the more life rocks.
So are we doing also spatial that we walk, or just by sitting and relaxing? Or should we also move in the area?
I have moved, and I would have preferred if you, Jay, Darko, had your cameras on and you could move. But the moving through the spaces is really excellent. It's really damn good. I wish I did more of it. While we can do it sitting in one chair, we can really do this with our clients sitting in one chair, especially if we know the steps and we know the process inside out. Yeah. But having it spaced out on the ground, now I'll normally just use the ground, and I've got these beautiful white squares, but I've used these as markers. So each marker is on the square. But it would be much easier, and I often already have squares. So I might have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, or maybe a red for a problem, maybe green for solution. Hello, Jenny. And I'll throw these out on the actual floor. Now, if we're using the actual floor, excellent in case you want to take groups through it. Remember in Bali when we did this, and we had a whole line of people, but because we had a line of people, I could see that the entire group were in step 1, step 2. And then we'll go up to step 3 and step 4, and someone walked back a couple of steps. Yeah. And I can see them. So here I can see 10 people, and I can see what they're doing. They're at step 1, they're at step 2, they're at step 3. Okay. Just about everyone's at step 4, but one person is back at step 2. You know, so it's really beneficial having it for that reason. For memory recall, that helps memory recall dramatically, like a memory palace. And then when we know the steps off by heart, it's easier to do it in the chair. So if we start with in the chair, don't move, we probably want to have the 6 steps written behind them. Yeah. I've also found that when I actually move clients out, it helps us do the coaching. So we might have, my client and I might be here, but after we've done the process, my client will say, oh, when I was there, that happened. And when I was there, that happened. And when I was there, that happened. And when that allows the client to see step 1, step 2, step 3. The sequence is really important. And Chris Collingwood, I think Chris Collingwood's coming here next week, and then Harry, you're the week after.
Yes.
So
Yes,
Chris,
exactly.
what do they call it? A Freudian slip when your mind goes. What was I about to say, Darko? What was the last word I just said? Can't believe you just said that.
You said Chris Conley would come next week.
Yeah. For what purpose? He's going to share something.
He's going to talk about NLP, but I don't know what was your intention to say.
When having a conversation with clients, the clients can point, they can go through the processes. And when we start to take our client through it, if we take a client through the process, say 3 or 4 times, they start to remember the process. And if you and your client remember the process, or just if you remember the process, you take yourself through it 3 or 4 times, your unconscious starts to remember the steps more automatically. And you can mark them out on your fingers. Step 1, step 2, step 3. If you're doing a TEDx speech, you just put we use anchoring each point on the fingers. Yeah. So the more we remember the process, in coaching, we actually train. So if I coach using step 1 or step 2, step 3 or step 4, right? If whatever kind of way I use, if I repeat the process, it starts to become more ingrained. Now, one thing Chris Collingwood mentioned in the previous session were principles. Back to the principles, yeah? What are the principles, or the principles he uses, core principles? The first level principles? Yep. When we look at new code, I wish Nadine was still here. She'd learned so much about our subject. When we look at new code NLP, we can break down any pattern, any process. We could look at a shaman doing work or a priest doing work and be able to break it down. Yeah? Part of the principles, the way that makes all of it work, are the neurological levels. So when we go up to an intention, we're actually going up to a higher level. Yeah? Part of each step is our relationship to time. Are we in time? Are we out of time? Are we past or future? Yeah. So all processes will have a time orientation. Yeah. They will have a logical level. Yeah. And they will have a sequence. And if the sequence is wrong, the process doesn't work. And the process here, it could be as simple as step 1 and step 2, unconscious signals, and then 2, the problem state. So the sequencing is incredibly important. And that's part of the first principles in NLP. And that's why NLP is so superior, because we can look at transactional analysis, nonviolent communication, or anything, and draw it down to the core principles. The core principles might be step 1 and step 2, a changing logical level, or changing where we're looking at time. Yeah. And by changing some of the sequence around, you can get a very different result, just like baking a cake. So the principles of baking a cake, logical levels, relationship to time, sequencing, perceptual positions, and there's a couple of other things. That's in the first principles, and Chris might be talking about that next week, but he spoke about it last month ago. So if anyone wants to keep coming to these sessions, make sure you come to Chris's as well, because you'll get deeper into it there. And if you do the NLP sessions here where Darko is leading it, Darko leads a session about once every 6 weeks, there's a good chance you'll be able to get in and find some new applications like NLP in emotions or NLP in work. When's your next workshop, Darko?
My next
July?
workshop is, can you hear?
Yep.
29th of July, but are we talking then about starting coaching business?
Okay. You could have an entire coaching business just using this one process over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but it is important also to know about the process, the coaching, why the coaching is important, and it is very beneficial. It helps me a lot during my personal development, and also as a motivated community, we manage to train many coaches, which are now giving their own coaching practice. So, and also I remember on one of our meetings, we plan to have a Sunday in September when we are going to talk about coaching business
and ICF coaching again.
Yes, and that's why I choose to to come this topic again
Okay.
about the importance of coaching.
Okay, so we're going to have a couple of sessions coming up and maybe a half day in September covering ICF coaching. It'll be low cost as well. We just want to do it for the hell of it. Give our community something to look forward to and help create more positive change. I'm also really proud because I work with Lifeline and do some mentoring and stuff. As far as I know, there's been no self-harm in our community. And I'm really, really proud of that. And I think it's amazing to have such a big community and not have self-harm in it. It's pretty impressive. It's a pretty big issue. Now, if I can back up one more. Now, let's say if we are doing ICF style coaching, Harold asked about sitting still or using positions. If we were doing ICF coaching, how about a coaching conversation like this? Hey, client, how have you been tracking the last week since that last session? Great. What do you work on in this session? I want to work on this problem. Okay, great. So you're saying this problem is causing some pain. How is it now? Great. How would you like it to be? Wonderful. Hey, what's the intention of that problem anyway? I'm going to pause for a moment. Just take a breath, relax, slow down. What's the intention of that? Okay, great. I hear you're saying that. Now, I just want to ask again, what's the intention of that? Oh, that kind of sounds like a positive intention. Interesting. What do you think about that positive intention? Oh, great. Well, I want to ask you one more question, if that's okay. What are 10 other ways you could solve that problem and get a better result? Take a breath again, relax, slow down. And I just want to ask again, just allow yourself to relax. And I want to connect, and I really want to ask a deeper part of you to come up with 10 or more solutions that will get you a great result. Wonderful. And in ICF coaching, proper professional coaching of corporates, you can pull this off and you can sit, relax, wait, watch them processing, find a solution. All right. Now, I'd just like to ask you, out of all the solutions you come, what solution would you like to install? What solution would you like to carry on? Great. What would that look like? Wonderful. What else needs to happen so you can make sure that happens? Do you need to be held accountable? Great. Well, what else will happen as you do this and as you walk out of this session as a new person? What are some of the positive effects going to be? Great. I just want to check. Are there any negative consequences? No? Great. Wonderful. What's next for us to do to wrap up this session? Confirm the session for next week. Great. I'll lock you in next Monday. Wonderful. Let's go. Cool. Thanks. Beautiful day. Bye. Pitching. Heart full. Heart full. Money in. Yes, iPhone. iPhone. Can you change your name, iPhone?
Yeah.
I can't quite hear you yet, but any questions, welcome. Now, as you fix up your communication, their iPhone, we'd love to ask you and any other questions. And just briefly, so next Sunday here, we're going to have Chris Collingwood talking about NLP, going deeper. And Monday morning Motivation has a wonderful session as well. It's in the flyer there. So every Monday, 7 o'clock China time, about 9 o'clock Sydney, Brisbane time, we have these wonderful sessions held by MMM, Monday Morning Motivation, created by Janine, one of our wonderful students here. So I'd love to see you guys there at the Monday session or on the Sunday. Now we're just going to take a couple of final questions with iPhone.
iPhone was trying to talk a minute ago, but yeah, I'll ask it to unmute again. I think it's Stella.
No, me.
Apologies, it's not coming through very clear.
Doesn't work.
You can.
We don't hear clearly.
Sounds like Sunny.
Sunny. Ah.
Yes.
Sunny.
Can I use this in Malaysia or Kuala Lumpur or Jakarta? Yes, you can. I'm not
I
sure
back-
how it translates, but yeah.
now I'm back to China. I'm not in the Malaysia. I will go. I'm applying the US visa. Maybe I will go there September or August.
Very good.
All right.
Very good.
And I
Okay.
might go. I am going to Japan on Wednesday, but this is for a brief training. Jay, the Mankind Group's going good here. It's going better. We had a little powwow, the leaders. It's going to be stepping up in the next months. I think I'm on some IGFT training as well or something online on Wednesday nights.
Very good. Very good.
I should be on the last one, but
No.
that's
Too early.
and yeah, and
Boom! You made it here! Good on you. Make sure you click the subscribe button below and check out the playlist at the end. If you'd like to come along to our Sunday sessions where we host a live free Q&A for our students and members, you're welcome. I'll see you there.